Hey everybody, Yankee here. You know, on the internet there's a lot of tacti-cool advice floating around. Some of it good, but unfortunately a lot of it bad. You see, anybody can get on the internet that wants to and put their ideas on here and pretend like they're an expert, whether they are or they aren't, myself included. But every now and then I like to come on here and talk about some of the things that I think that are leaning from tacti-cool to tacti-tard and actually make you less safe. Because that is the case quite often in some of these instances. And one of them kind of reared its head in my video the other day. It was these people that came in when I showed that, you know, I have cameras on my property, I have lights, I have dogs, etc. And they're like, oh, you just gave away your defenses. They're going to come get you now. They know what to overcome. You know, those kind of people. And these are the people that have been convinced by the tacti-cool gods on the internet that you're a warrior and you're in a constant state of battle, which is just not true. Now, I know some people wish it was true for one reason or another, but there are a tiny little number of people that have some insecurities, I do believe, because it's not true, period. Unless your last name is Hatfield or McCoy, I don't think you're locked in any running battles with anyone right now. And when you make the mistake of having that mindset, well, then you make mistakes. And the people that were coming on there saying, you shouldn't let people know you have cameras, you shouldn't let people know you have lights or dogs, because that gives away your position. Well, that might be true if I was actually in an open warfare with someone. I mean, I don't want to tell them where the landmines are. I don't want to tell them there's landmines in the yard. But if I'm not openly at war with anybody and I want to use things as a deterrent to not be in a battle, then letting people know is kind of the thing to do. Keeping your property bright. Some people had a problem with that. Oh, that means they can see everything. They can sit and plan. They can also see, oh, anybody's going to see me coming. I'll go somewhere else. That's where the mindset gets screwed up. When you think you're a warrior constantly at battle, you don't do the things that would actually prevent you from having to be in a fight. And that should be your main goal in life. To not be in a fight. Not to win the fight, but not be in one. Yes, there are certain things you would do a certain way if you were already engaged in a battle and you didn't want to give away any of your advantages to the enemy. But in real life, you want people to know, hey, that person has an advantage. Let's go somewhere else. You know, if you have an alarm on your house, you don't want to go, don't tell nobody I got an alarm. And it's silent so no one will even hear it. No, you want your alarm to be loud and you want to put signs out. Because you want the bad guys to see, oh, that yard is well lit, and oh, look, it's got an alarm. His neighbors don't have that. Let's go over there and see what they got. That's what you want to do. You want to prevent the act. You don't want to have to engage in it and have an advantage once it's engaged in. Some people act like you want to lure the bad guys in and then have all these advantages. No, that's not what life is about. It's about avoiding the fight. You are not a warrior. You are not in a constant state of war. You're not trying to win a battle. That mindset is harmful. It causes you to make tactical mistakes. It makes you more likely to be victimized instead of preventing the victimization. Like I said, having lights, having cameras, putting out a sign about your alarm, that statistically is proven to greatly reduce your chance of being the victim of a home invasion. I have a friend who's an actuarian for an insurance company. They do numbers like that. You're far more likely to be victimized if you don't have a sign out there and you don't let people know you have an alarm than you are if you just put the sign in your yard. In fact, there's some numbers that show that just the sign itself's enough. You don't even have to actually have the alarm system. But it works. Deterrence work. And if you're foregoing deterrence because you think, oh, it gives away an advantage, that's an improper mindset. Your main goal should be to not be involved in the crime at all, to not be the victim. It's kind of the same argument people make with concealed carry. They're like, oh, open carry is going to make you a victim, even though there's no evidence of that whatsoever. Period. In fact, it's the other way around. In surveys of criminals, etc., when they're asked, hey, You walk into a bank or a building and you're going to rob it and there's someone in there openly carrying, what do? Almost every one of them says, well, we wait till they leave. You know, if you're at a bank and the guy in line's open carrying, well, you don't want to start off with a murder. You came there to make money. You don't want to make yourself public enemy number one, so you go over and you fill out some withdrawal forms and stuff until they're done and they leave. That is actually a statistic. That's an actual thing. And you can show cases where that's happened. That whole shoot you first just doesn't really happen. So people who make the argument for open carry can very easily say that's a deterrent. Whereas the guy who thinks he's going to be in the fight, wants to be in the fight, doesn't want to give away the fact that he's got an advantage. Other people want you to know they have an advantage, so you pick somebody else. And that argument can easily be made. And that's even more controversial than the house thing, like letting people know you have an alarm, letting people have lights, letting your dogs be loud and people will notice them. That is pretty much statistically proven that it's better to let people know. Because like I said, if someone's really determined to come get you, that they're going to try to overcome all your stuff, well, they're just going to wait for you to leave your property and shoot you in the head. That whole notion of, I got to act like I'm at war all the time, it's just detrimental to your mental health, for one, and to your actual safety. Now, there are times where you want to be more subtle, and I even covered that in that video, that same video. I mentioned that my shotgun is not my choice that I'm going to grab if I got to go out front. Like I used the scenario, someone pulls in my driveway. That shouldn't be there. I don't grab my shotgun and go out, because if they're there to hurt me, they see me come out with the shotgun, I've lost all my advantage right there. They just shoot me. Unless I go out blasting first, and that's the kind of mentality that puts people in prison for the rest of their life. So you don't want to find yourself in that mentality. So in that case, I want my handgun. I want my gun they can't see, so I can go out and go like, hey fellas, what's up? What are you here? And then if they're aggressive, I've got an advantage they didn't know about. I don't want to go out immediately, show it on my cards, because that's a different situation. The fight has already potentially come to me. Maybe, maybe not, but in case it has, I want to be prepared. But when I'm living my everyday life, I want to avoid the fight, avoid conflict. I want to avoid being the guy in the bank that gets stuck in a robbery. I want them to wait till I leave. Now, I know some people have a little bit more of a hero complex, and they want to be the guy that saves the day, so they want to have their gun concealed. Not me. I'd rather they wait till I leave and then do their shit. I don't want to have to murder anyone over robbing a bank, and I don't want to have them hurt somebody simply because I escalate the situation or anything like that. So I'd rather just avoid the situation. I know most of the time they're not going to kill anyone. They're there for money. That's a crime of profit. They don't want to be murderers 90% of the time, despite what you see in the movies where they're like, oh, we're taking the money. We might as well kill everybody too. That way the police and the FBI and everybody will be after us forever. That's just not how criminals work. And because if they did, they wouldn't be very good criminals. And ones who do things of that level are usually a little bit better criminals. In fact, most bank robberies don't even involve firearms. They involve a guy going up to a counter, giving someone a note, saying they have a firearm, and then sneaking off with money. It's nothing like you see in the movies. So like I said, I would rather be prepared and also be a little visible. So people know, hey, that guy's not a victim, at least not an easy one. Hey, that guy's house is well lit. He's got cameras, he's got dogs, he's got motion sensors, and he's got guns. So I'm going to go somewhere else. Because, if you just let people know you got a lot of guns and you got no way to protect them, that would be a bad idea. But if you let them see you're going to have to walk through hell to get here, and I'm going to see you coming, they'll probably think, well, that gun ain't worth it. I'll find somebody else. So that's one of the things I hate about the Tacti-Tards in the gun community. They want to make people think you're a warrior and you're constantly fighting that battle, when that's not the case. You are not a warrior. You're just a person. You are not constantly fighting a battle. You're just living your life. And the number one point of your life should be avoiding situations that could ruin your life. Not trying to get into them and win them, but trying to avoid them so that you don't have to deal with it at all.